Hi everyone. Now we are going to see about goals of psychotherapy. We have already seen in the last session about what is psychotherapy, the meaning, the definitions of psychotherapy, the definition which is given by some authors. We have discussed that and we have seen the objectives of psychotherapy and we have discussed about the ultimate goal of psychotherapy, and now we are going to see the goals or the purpose of psychotherapy. So, the purpose or objectives or goal of psychotherapy. According to Sandberg and Taylor, strengthen the patient's motivation to do the right thing is the first purpose. So, these author says that the therapist have to strengthen the patient's motivation level. Okay, that is the right thing. That is the first thing the therapist have to do. Once the motivation level is stable, once the motivation level is good, the therapy session will be successful, as well as the patient can receive the positivity or the changes or accept the changes or which makes them to overcome their negative or mental illness symptoms. The next one is reducing emotional pressure by facilitating the expression of feeling. So, this is the second thing, which is like reducing the emotional power, like pressure. The therapist want to make the person to reduce the level of pressure which they are facing emotionally. They want to they want to make the person to understand the problem where they are stuck in, what are all the symptoms which is affected by these process. Okay, so this emotion, once the emotional pressure is decreased or understand by the facilitating the expression of feeling. Okay, so reducing emotional pressure is very important. Third one is realizing the potential for growth, making the potential more effective. Okay, makes the client to understand their potential level, which makes the growth and development in the client. Next is changing habits, which helps for changing their entire lifestyle. Changing the habit is very, very important. The fifth one is modifying cognitive structure of a person. So, this is like cognitive structure is what the thinking pattern of a person. So, once the person have a negative impact or a negative thinking process, they have a negative symptoms or a negative emotional illness. So, the therapy session and the therapist role is to modify the cognitive structure of that particular client or a person. Once the modification made through, like example, modifying the negative thinking to positive thinking, the cognitive structure automatically changes and they can move on to the further life easily. Sixth one is gaining self knowledge. Make the person to gain their more self knowledge easily. So gaining that self knowledge easily is very, very important. Self development of self knowledge is more important for the success in the therapeutical session. So, gaining self knowledge is an important role. Seventh one is facilitating interpersonal relation and communication, like focusing on interpersonal relationship and communication. Okay, interpersonal relationship is very important in the day-to-day life. So many of them have lag in their interpersonal relationship. So this therapeutical session or a therapist want to help the particular person to deal with their interpersonal relationship or interpersonal, to develop their interpersonal skill through the session and make them to more communicative and make them to understand about the interpersonal relationship and communication. Next is gaining knowledge and making them to be a good decision maker. Okay, so gaining knowledge and making good decision making is the another form of therapeutical success. The ninth one is altering or changing bodily states, like which, for say, for example, which the person have some, person may face some physical illness. So, making the person to understand or alter their physical changes in the bodily structure. The tenth one is altering state of consciousness, making them to understand their situation, bringing the consciousness in the form of therapeutical session, through the therapeutical session. So the maintaining the consciousness is very important. Next is changing the social activities, which the client, some for some clients, they have a bad or negative social activities. So that is like changing their negative social activity is very important for a good therapeutical session. Thank you.